In 1825, British consul Richard Charlton arrives in Hawaii and relayed the sad news that Liholiho Kamehameha II and Kamamalu had passed away in London. Charlton stayed in Hawaii and over the years filed numerous complaints of land disputes and unfair treatment of British subjects. He officially filed suit for the land Pulaulaho in 1840. He later produced the land deed from Kalaniʻimoku purporting to grant him the land. However, the land in question actually belonged to Ka'ahumanu and was inherited by Kina'u. Charlton discovers that the independence envoys Timoteo Ha'alilio and William Richards left in July 1842 to seek recognition of Hawaiian independence, and goes himself to present his case to Great Britain in September. Both the envoys and Charlton traveled through Mexico. While there, Charlton met with Lord Paulet and then Rear Admiral Richard Thomas, Britain's commander-in-chief of the Pacific Station. Charlton states his case, and Rear Admiral Thomas sends Lord Paulet to Hawaii to investigate. Heavily influenced by Charlton, Paulet arrives in Hawaii making outrageous demands of Kamehameha III and his kingdom, threatening to fire his cannon at Honolulu if his demands are not met. On February 25, 1843, unwilling to submit to his demands, Kauikeaouli decided to provisionally cede Hawaii to Great Britain and appeal to the justice of Great Britain and not Paulet. At that ceremony on the veranda of the Honolulu fort, Kamehameha III announces his decision to his people.
Ohea o kou e nā ali'i, a me nā kānaka, a me nā maka ainana mai ku'ukupuna kāne mai, a me nā kānaka o ka aina e. E ho'olohe mai o kou, ke hai ako nei au ia o kou ua pilikia wau, o kou ho'opilikia ia mai me ke kumu ole. No leila, ua haawi au I ke ea o ka aina o kakou I lohe o kou. Aka, e mau ana no kou ali'i ana, maluna o kou o me ko o kou pono. Na ka mea, ke lana nei no kou manao, e hoi ia mai ana no nae ke ea o ka aina, ke ho'opono ia mai ka uhana ana.
Paulet had closed off Honolulu Harbor to control communications sent out from Hawaii about the session of the government. Through the efforts of Dr. Garrett P. Judd and Ladd and Company, a plan was put in motion for the Hawaiian Kingdom to secretly send an envoy to Great Britain so Queen Victoria would directly receive the official complaint from Kamehameha III. Using the Royal Mausoleum Pohukaina as his office and Ka'ahumanu's coffin as his writing table, Dr. Judd composed the official commission of letters in Hawaiian and English for Mr. J.F.B. Marshall as Envoy Extraordinary and Minister Plenipotentiary, granting him powers to negotiate on behalf of the king. Kauikeaouli, Kamehameha III, and Kekauluohi were brought by canoe from Maui to Waikiki under the cover of nightfall for a midnight rendezvous to sign and certify these documents in secrecy. On April 10, 1843, Alexander Simpson, Paulet's messenger, is sent off to relay the news about Hawaii's cession to Great Britain. Sailing alongside him is J.F.B. Marshall, the secret envoy appointed by Kamehameha III to head to London, meet with Ha'alilio and Richards, and negotiate an end to British occupation in Hawaii. Having received acknowledgement of Hawaii's independence from the British government, the envoys of Ha'alilio and Richards learn of the seizure of Hawaii by a British officer while they are in France. They make their way back to London where they meet up with Marshall. Together, the men join forces to negotiate the return of Hawaii to Kamehameha III. Marshall documents the harrowing experience 40 years later in 1883 in a Harper's Weekly article entitled An Unpublished Chapter of Hawaiian History. Meanwhile, Rear Admiral Thomas in Mexico receives a letter from Lord Paulet about the situation at hand. Admiral Thomas sails to Hawaii to return the government to King Kamehameha III. On July 31st, Admiral Thomas meets with Kamehameha III, handing him the Hawaiian flag and restores the sovereignty of Hawaii. The British flag is lowered and the Hawaiian flag is raised as 21 gun salutes are heard throughout the land. Dr. Judd noted that 315 guns startled the mountains and stirred the sea in celebration of this momentous event. Later that day, at a speech at Kawaiahao Church grounds, Kamehameha III proclaims Ua mau ke eo ka aina I ka pono. A grand feast is held on August 3rd at Kaniakapupu in Luaka'a, Nu'uanu. From that date forth, July 31st was celebrated as La Ho'iho'iea. Learn more and get access to related resources at avayaulu.org/Kipapa.